Hey guys, welcome back. I thought while I was rambling around in the comic room here, aka known as the Forbidden Zone, I'd just go ahead and feature a couple more short run series. Now, these two, same as the last two I put up, lots of fun to read. And both of these are from DC and they're from 1968. Uh, I know there's just something about these little short run series like, Bomba, the Jungle Boy, and Anthro, and the two series I'm going to feature. And there was a lot of stuff like that, and it was kind of a cool period because you get a lot more creativity coming in. I think Dick Giordano came over from Charlton, and he snagged some people and brought with him, and it was just for me, a really cool era in DC Comics. So these two series I'm going to show you are The Secret Six and Beware the Creeper. So The Secret Six, issue number one. This was the brainchild of E. Nelson Bridwell and Jack Sparling. E. Nelson, I'm sure you guys that read comics read comics from the late '60s and through the '70s, you saw Bridwell's name pop up a lot, and the E stands for Edward, so it's Edward Nelson Bridwell, and he was sort of like you see him in the letters pages, and he was an editor and he was a writer, and he was a big part of DC for a long time. So really cool series. It's got a serious Mission Impossible type vibe, where you could say the Avengers or the Man from Uncle or I Spy or the Girl from Uncle or the Prisoner or the Saint, whatever. Just all that whole mid to late '60s, early '70s spy vibe going on. So really cool. There's like six individuals, and they all got a different skill set, and they don't know each other. They're all strangers, and there's a mysterious character that comes on a recording known as Mockingbird, and he's got something on every one of them, and that's pretty much the gist of the whole run. They go on their adventures, and each one has their own thing they do. Like I say, sort of like Mission Impossible, and really fun, entertaining stories. Jack Sparling did like all the covers and the art, except for maybe I think the next issue. I think Nick Carty did the cover, and maybe Frank Springer, did the art. But all the other issues were done by Jack Sparling on the art. But yeah, really cool cover. Number one. And this is the first story I remember reading because I remember reading this in a Brave and the Bold 100-pager that I've got. Plunder the Pentagon. And you see all six characters there, and the shadow of Mockingbird in the background. And after they catch the criminal or catch their guy or their gal or whatever, there's always that little voice comes on somewhere from a recording singing the Mockingbird song. And then you kind of find out during the course of this that actually one of the operatives is supposedly Mockingbird themselves. I don't think it was ever revealed, and if it was revealed later, I didn't hear about it, or so somebody can kind of point me in the direction of do we finally find out who Mockingbird is, or I know there was a series like an Action Comics Weekly of Secret Six, and I think it was like a different set of people. So I don't know if they ever revealed in that because it's been so long since I read those and read these for that matter. I don't really know who Mockingbird is, so anybody wants to point me in a direction and knows, I'd be happy to hear it. I'm not all-knowing, never claimed to be, and never will be. But I enjoy the hobby, and I enjoy all the trivia and knowing the artists and the writers and the editors and all the little ins and outs of the company. So, any of that information I'm always happy to get. Like I say, it's number two. This is a Nick Carty cover with Frank Springer art on the inside. And I think around this time, Joe Gill, who was a really prolific writer for Charlton, started doing the scripts with Bridwell. So I think from here on to the end of the series, Gill and Bridwell did all the scripts. So another fun little issue. I remember this story really well because I read it over and over in an issue of Brave and Bold, and I just had to have it. And once I had one, then I had to have the series. So you know how that works. Okay, here is number 3. Pretty cool cover. Now, initially, I wasn't a real big fan of Jack Sparling, or Frank Springer for that matter, but the more I saw of it, the more I really liked their art. And it really fits this series, you know. It's not a really realistic look, but it's not a cartoony look. Sort of like what you'd expect to see, like from a late 1960s action adventure type story. So very cool, and I like the way they do the logo for the Secret Six. All right, and here is number 4. More fun on this cover. Been a while since I read these. I remember really enjoying reading all of them. Here is number 5. Really like the cover, or the color covers, or the cover colors, or whatever on this one. Anyway, it's got nice colors. Really like that. We'll just kind of take a peek inside of one of them here. I got all these are pretty decent shape, you know. You gotta love the house ads. The house ads probably made me spend more money than anything when I got into buying back issues. Like I say, some nice art. And got some more. You got house ads. You got Captain Action, which is another series I'm working on. I just recently got number 1, and I want to get the rest of them. But a lot of cool stuff. You know, more great house ads. Like giant Superman issue. You got some Revell models down there. Just very cool. And here you got some Tyco stuff. I was a big train guy when I was a kid. Had some racetracks too, but the Tyco stuff was supposed to be the best. Yeah, just a lot of great art, a lot of great old ads. There's the letters page. Here's some more house ads telling you what's coming up with Showcase. Dolphin, it's one of my favorite issues. More stuff and more stuff. And here we go. I believe I like the house ads as much as I did the story. Because I remember getting that World's Finest issue was one of the first mail order back issue purchases that I did when I was a kid. There's a fun Jimmy Olsen cover. And you got the Wonderful World of Comics. You got the Polaris nuclear sub, which is actually a piece of cardboard. And here you have Aurora 2-in-1 stunt and drag race set. What kid wouldn't want that, huh? So just like I say, just a great time in comic books overall. And being a DC fan, I just thought these were great. That was number 5. Here's number 6 with a black cover. Uh-oh, what has Lily done now? And last issue, number 7. Another cool cover. Like I said, if anybody can tell me if they eventually found out who Mockingbird was, you know, I'd like to know. And that way I wouldn't have to scour through boxes. Anyway, guys, that's the Secret Six. Great little series. Definitely worth a read and not hard at all on the wallet. Highly recommend it. The next one, as I said before, is Beware the Creeper. His first appearance was in Showcase 73, which... Hold on, let me see if I can pull that off the shelf real quick. Still here, guys, I promise. Just wanted to pull that out if I could find it. And it may or may not be on a box. I don't know. Oh. I guess I put it back in a box. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sure I'll go through this after later on, and I'll probably find it. Anyway, here's issue number 1, and Where Lurks the Menace. Steve Ditko, and I think Denny O'Neil and his other persona as Sergius O'Shaughnessy did the scripts. I think the first issue, Ditko might have helped on the plots, but he does all the artwork, all the covers on, or at least on the first 5 or so. So, really cool character. I always liked it when he popped up. I mean, he would just like pop up anywhere, like in the Joker or Detective Comics, or just, you know, just some odd places. And this is just classic, you know, Ditko goodness. Number 2, Many Faces of Proteus. And I know his origin involves, been a while since I read it, I know it involves some Professor Katz, maybe, K-A-T-Z, and a little device he had in his wrist. It would, like, you know, let him have strength and all kinds of goofy abilities. Here's another copy of that. Really love this cover. It's number 3, The Isle of Fear. Just check that out. Now this series is a little bit more expensive, just obviously because it's Ditko, but still won't break the bank. So perfectly within a person's means. And here's number 4, Which Face Hides My Enemy? Very cool. And another copy of that. As I've said before, that's what happens when you're not organized initially. Here's number 5, more Proteus. He just cannot get rid of this guy. More Denny O'Neil, alias Sergius O'Shaughnessy, and Steve Ditko. And I think this issue and the next one, I believe, had a guy inking them, named Mike Pepe, or Pepe. It's P-E-P-P-E. Was doing the inks on that one and the last issue. And on the last issue, I think this is about the time Ditko had probably had enough of DC at that time, or decided to move back to Charlton Comics or whatever. But here's number 6. Still tangled with that Proteus guy. This is a great Gil Kane cover. And I think Ditko does like the first 11 pages of this. And I think Frank Springer does the last 12 or 13. And Mike Pepe does the inks. But they kind of make it look, it doesn't look like Sparling's art at all. I guess Pepe had a strong influence on it. I'll let you look at it. Let's see, first 11 pages were Ditko, inked by Pepe, or Pepe, whatever you want to call him. You can tell it's Ditko, just just a little bit different. Oh, look, we got the Zeroids. Anybody remember the Zeroids? I do, but I'm old. Okay. There's pages 9 and 10. And there's 11. Now we get into the Frank Springer and Mike Pepe pages. And they try to make it look a little bit like Ditko, because it doesn't really look like Springer's work. So I guess the inking had a big influence. Hey, look at this. More great stuff. The house ads. You know, these were two more of the first mail order purchases I made. Got great Neil Adams covers. And more of the same. Got more Aurora ads in here for trains. And Wonderful World of Comics. There's just nothing that you can't enjoy in these books. Like I say, this kind of veers off from what Ditko's work was, but they still make it look pretty clean. So it actually kind of fits within the story. Okay, and then Creeper walking off into the distance. And got another ad for a Giant Action Comics featuring Supergirl. This is a good one. Okay, and we got more ads. I'm sure everybody remembers the Revolutionary War soldiers. If you want to go back and go through some of Captain Strangelife's videos, you'll find all kinds of stuff where he actually had those toys and still has them from when he was a kid. And it's awesome. So, you know, shout out to Hans on actually having some of those toys that were in the ads, or a lot of them. I'm out of coffee. Anyway, getting to the end of this, got some water. This has been fun. I really like doing this, and I'm going to probably have to rebag a bunch of these. Got some new bags, as you saw last night. Another copy of that one. Yeah, it's always fun when I get to go back through and rebag and board, because a lot of times it takes me a long time. If I've got a 7-issue series, it probably takes me 2 hours to rebag and board them, because I want to read them, you know. And it's, oh, this is cool, and I'll look at it, you know, and I'll stick my nose in to get that wonderful smell. You know, not everybody likes that smell, but I love the smell of that old browning paper, you know. Anyway, guys, this was enjoyable for me. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope you'll join me again soon. And still wanted to give a shout out to my buddy Rod, Dr. Silver Age. Still not feeling well, so like any positive thoughts, prayers you want to send his way, I'm sure they're appreciated. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed your weekend, and I will see you soon. Onward and upward.